since you mentioned money, I just want to point out how popular NFTs are, right? Like just in January of 2022, there was millions and millions of transactions made in the NFT world in OpenSeas, which led to about more than $4 billion worth of goods being exchanged.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 11 of Rookie Mondays. Today might be my favorite episode to date. Not even gonna lie to you, because we are discussing NFTs and the Metaverse. So we'll tell you exactly what they are. We'll tell you how they will transform every industry. And we'll also tell you how you can invest into it so that you can make some money. So let's kick it off with NFTs, bro. Explain to them what NFTs are.
Got you. All right, so NFT, right? Non-fungible token. Before we can actually dive in and explain it, you have to understand what fungible means. Fungible is essentially when you could exchange or substitute one asset for another and it holds the same value. So let's talk money. Now, one $5 bill has the same exact value as five $1 bills. $5 is the value. Non-fungible is the opposite. This is essentially when you cannot exchange or substitute an asset because it has unique identifiers to it, which make it special. Now, the token part is essentially a digital certificate that's placed on the blockchain, which then verifies and authenticates how unique it actually is. So a non-fungible token, as a summary, is essentially a digital asset that holds one unique value, which is stored on the blockchain.
Yeah, and that's perfectly explained. Thank you for that, bro. So I think about an example in the real world, like the Mona Lisa, because we can use this painting as an example. So if you think about it, if I'm an artist and I'm an amazing drawer, I might draw the Mona Lisa just as good as Leonardo da Vinci did.
Facts.
And so it's like, how do you know which one is the real one? And so that's a problem, and it was solved with NFTs and the blockchain.
Yep.
Blockchain technology can authenticate things, right? It can tell you like, okay, this is the original one. It was created at this point. It was sold for this much, right?
Yep.
This is all what the blockchain does. If you don't understand blockchain, please check out our video that we released a couple weeks ago on what the blockchain is.
Facts. Now, the thing is, there's other things that, NFT is used for. A lot of people, we just said it right now, we said paintings, but there's other use cases. Even businesses are getting involved, right? Like, I know Gary Vee just did a whole thing.
Yeah, Gary Vee he released an NFT restaurant. This is so genius. Gary Vee released 1,151 tokens, right? NFTs, and then he put it out into the market. Anybody who owns these NFTs has access to his restaurant. That it's genius, bro. It's social currency.
Yeah, you hit my word right there. Like, if you think about it, a lot of people buy like all the latest drip, they buy all the cool shoes, they buy the chains because they want to feel like, yo, I have the best chains on, right? Now, the same thing is happening in the NFT world because it's like, yo, I want to feel like I could capitalize on the movement, which is what Gary Vee's doing. In order to come into the restaurant, you need his actual tokens. It's genius.
It's genius, man. And then what's amazing about his tokens is people who own it, they can actually lend it out. So it's like, first of all, when you own it, you're already special because there's only 1,151 that are ever released.
Yep, it's scarce. It's like Bitcoin, like we talked about.
Exactly, that scarcity factor. And so imagine you was on a date, by the way, and like you're like, yo, we can go to. It's called Fly Fish Club.
Yep.
Imagine he was like, yo, I'm gonna take you to Fly Fish Club. You know you that guy already off that alone.
If she knows what like this whole world is, and it's like, yo, I'm gonna take you to the most fly thing possible.
Yeah.
You're about to, capitalize on a date. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's a fact. That's a flex. But I was actually getting at the point that like, yo, you can lend it out though. Kind of like Airbnb. So you can actually lend out this NFT and get it back. So you can make passive income off of owning Gary Vee's NFT, which is like a genius aspect that he added to his NFT. And you could also add in like royalties to your NFTs as well, by the way. People who create NFTs, they can get royalties off of any time it's sold. The original owner gets a cut of that money.
Yeah, and since you mentioned money, I just want to point out how popular NFTs are, right? Like just in January of 2022, there was millions and millions of transactions made in the NFT world in OpenSeas, which led to about more than $4 billion worth of goods being exchanged. So just think about that, for example. It's real money that's going in, which then you can lend out. If you have NFTs, you can lend it out, and then you make money on top of that for royalties.
Yeah.
Like, it's a whole game that's being played, and you got to go where the money's going, bro.
You got to. And speaking of where the money's going, like Bored Apes. A lot of people have heard of Bored Apes. Those like weird-looking monkeys that been selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like,
facts.
People think it's silly, and it is silly. I ain't gonna lie, it's pretty dumb. But the creators of that are like, they're actually pretty genius on how they're doing things. Like it opens up a whole community. They have events together, et cetera, and they're opening up their own restaurant in Cali as well.
Yep.
So and they're actually going to open up their own metaverse as well, by the way. And we're getting into what the metaverse is. But it just shows you that, like, okay, this NFT world is opening up and creating different lanes in different industries.
Yep.
And listen, we might have a Badtalk NFT coming, because this is an example of how a business can use it. We might have a Badtalk NFT that we release. Say we release 5 NFTs.
Yep.
And we say anybody who holds these NFTs get weekly meetups with us, weekly calls. We'll give you stock picks, crypto picks, right? So these tokens, these NFTs hold value. Like if you own it, you get special privileges.
Yep.
Think about how beneficial that could be to any type of business owner in any type of industry.
And that's the use case factor, right? We keep on hitting on that because it's very important just to understand it's not just digital art. Like it actually has a use case behind it. You can even use for patents right now. Like Nike is coming with a whole movement where it's like, yo, we have something called crypto kicks, right? Essentially, they have a whole different project. So if you buy crypto kicks, this is a patent that Nike put out. Now, when you buy the physical good, you get a digital asset along with it. Yeah. It's actually genius because you can rock the real shoe itself, but then you can also rock it in the digital world, and you know it's like verified. Exactly.
Like those digital assets they include with the shoe will tell you it's the real thing as well.
Exactly.
Because like, you know, the counterfeit industry is a extremely profitable industry. Like it is an over $500 billion industry, the counterfeit industry. And when you have these NFTs, it's actually going to destroy that, because now you can't sell people fake sneakers, because with the crypto kicks, you're going to have a digital asset that comes with it that authenticates that shoe and says like, nah, this is the real Nike. This is not a fake shoe.
But now you guys know what NFTs are. You guys see the use case behind it. Let's just tap into the metaverse. But before we do that, y'all got to do us a favor. You got to like, comment, and subscribe to the video and hit that little notification bell because we drop
2 videos a week.
And you do not want to miss them. All right, so now you guys done that. Let's talk about the metaverse, bro. Put them on.
Yeah, the metaverse. And the easiest way to say it is just it's a virtual world. Okay, so in the metaverse, you might have an avatar that walks around in a virtual world, this virtual reality, and you can socialize with people, you know, and there's so many different use cases for different metaverses because there's many different ones, you know. A lot of people saw Facebook come out and rebrand their name to Meta and thought that they created the metaverse. No, the metaverse has been around for a while, actually, you know, and Facebook is just smart because they're like, if we change our name to Meta, people will associate the concept of metaverse with us.
A lot of people were doing that, to be honest. Like, you know, we weren't the only ones who thought, yo, what is Facebook? What is Metaverse? They were genius to capitalize that. But I think you hit on it. This is not a new concept. Like, Metaverse is not new, right? Let's just go back in time and think about all the different virtual reality stuff that was going on. So Pokemon Go was an example. I know y'all remember Pokemon Go going crazy, right? Like, at one time, it was actually more popular than apps like Instagram, Snapchat, WhatsApp. Then you think about other things that came out, like The Sims. That changed the entire world because it was like, wait, I could legit throw a party and have digital people in the world with me, and like it's actually beautiful to see that. People were going crazy on that, right? You had other apps going crazy as well, and this is once again to show how popular the metaverse space is. It's not new, y'all. Like 2K was doing it as well. Like you were buying shoes, you were buying virtual currency to make it go crazy. Yeah, absolutely. Like with these metaverses, what they're trying to do is they're trying to mimic the real world in a virtual world. And that's all it is. Metaverse, meta stands for beyond, verse is like universe, right? So metaverse is beyond universe. That's all it is. And so like, what is the metaverse experience like? That's what I want you guys to visualize. So you can have virtual reality, which is kind of like, for example, you might have like a headset that you put on. It's more like where you're sitting in place and you're experiencing the metaverse in place. But once you take those headsets off, you're out of that world. You're just back into the real world doing it how we've been doing it for thousands of years. Now, that's virtual reality. There's another way to experience the metaverse with augmented reality. And this is when, if anything, you have like a little device. I'm talking about like glasses. And you walk around in the real world and there's digital items around you that you see because you have the glasses on. So as you're going about your day, you might be going to work and you might look on the side of the road and see digital like things walking around. You're literally experiencing the metaverse in real life. That's augmented reality. And we're not even saying this like just to make it up. Like Apple actually came out with this whole thing where they're coming out with their glasses, right? So the fact that Apple's getting involved, it just shows how legit this space is. I just wanted to make that point clear. No, I mean, Morgan Stanley said Apple may be like
like the biggest players in the metaverse due to that technology that they're coming out with, you know? And then what's crazy about the metaverse, and this is what was like really weird to me, they have something called haptics, which allows you to like wear a glove and actually feel things in the metaverse.
Yeah, and when, you know, because we obviously prep for all this before we record, so when he was telling me that, I was mind blown, because I was like, yo, like, if you can legit touch something, obviously, you know, to see it with glasses on is crazy in itself, but now you can touch stuff, it adds that, you know, physical feel to it. So it's not as fake as you would think it is, which just means it has even a larger market that you can tap into now, which means more money.
Yeah, man, listen, you think it's like you're gonna have people that just want to exist in that metaverse and not even in their real life. Because if you could feel in the metaverse, your whole surroundings feels real, but it's fake. Yo, bro, it's gonna be, I don't know what's gonna happen, bro.
Yeah.
I think, like, what do you think is gonna happen with that? You think like people are gonna like just prefer the metaverse versus their real life?
No, 100%. I think it's going to come down to that point, because we already mentioned it, right? Like, Sims took over before. You saw Pokemon Go going crazy. True. But that's the past. Let's talk about the present right now. Like, yo, Disney is coming out with actual metaverse patents to come in and say you can play in my theme park now in a virtual reality, like, which is crazy, right? Microsoft is tapping in and creating their own system now. The whole gaming platform they have, it's going into virtual reality, right? So I think all of this that's happening is because the greatest companies in the world are recognizing that, yo, this is the future. So my answer is 100%. I think we're going to tap into that. Not saying real world won't exist, but I think that people will have their own businesses on the metaverse. You're going to see real estate people go in the metaverse.
Bro, why are we talking about real estate properties in the metaverse that have already sold for millions of dollars? Like, there's a lot of money in this space. Like, you have to get into spaces where the big players are in. Like we said, Microsoft, they're creating their own metaverse where it's more of a workspace environment, right? So it's like, yo, have an avatar that goes to work, sits in conferences. Like, you in a conference room, there's buildings for that. It's crazy. You got that. You got players like NVIDIA, you know, you got Balenciaga, Nike. LeBron James is filing trademarks to have patents in the metaverse. Like, why would you not follow the money? And so it's like we said, we mentioned it last week. There's something you can invest in, like Decentraland or Sandbox. Sandbox is more of a gaming type of metaverse where you're gaming. You know, and those are great players. But then, if you believe in Meta's future, you could also invest in Meta, and formerly known as Facebook. You know, so those are some things you could look at. So many different like companies getting involved in the metaverse, but ultimately, one thing we do know is it's the future.
Absolutely. I could not agree more, right? So now you guys should have a great understanding. I know it's Rookie Monday, so we try to, you know, do our best to slow it down, but you guys know what NFT is, non-fungible token. You guys know what Metaverse is, virtual reality that allows you to be social and allow the on-gaming aspect and literally virtual reality, right? Like, it's absolutely amazing. So now you guys know that. Thank you so much if you're still listening to us. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the video and hit that notification bell, because we drop
2 videos a week
and you do not want to miss them. So hopefully you like the video, and we're going to catch you on Wednesday. But until then, peace.
Peace.